The fifth time Victoria Lynn refused my invitation to spend New Year's at my family's home, a TikTok post from a stranger popped up on my phone. It showed the back of a man and a woman with the caption, "So happy my girlfriend could join me for the Somers Corporation's annual gala tonight." My heart sank. I recognized the bracelet on the woman's wrist. It was a one-of-a-kind piece I had designed just for Victoria. In the neon glow of a private room, she was wrapped in the arms of her first love, Preston Shaw, kissing him as if no one else existed. Her ex smirked. "So brazen with me. Aren't you afraid your husband will find out?" Victoria, breathing heavily, her eyes filled with lust, replied, "He's just some poor, ugly guy. He'll probably never set foot in a hotel like this in his entire life." But she had no idea that I had concealed my true identity. In fact, this entire gala was being held for me. The spotlights of the gala were blinding. The intimate sounds from the private room continued, but my legs felt too weak to listen anymore. I dialed my mother's number.
"Mom, I've made up my mind. I don't want to be Austin Foster anymore."
When I was 15, my parents and I were on a mountain holiday when a sudden mudslide hit. Aaron Foster saved me, taking the full force of the debris on his own body. He didn't make it until the rescue team arrived. Aaron's only living relative was his blind mother. To repay his sacrifice, I became her son for 13 years until Mrs. Foster passed away. As Austin Foster, I met Victoria Lynn. We dated for 4 years and have been married for 3. Victoria came from a well-off family, and everyone marveled at her deep affection for a poor, ugly guy like me. But everything changed when her first love, Preston Shaw, returned to the country and started his own company. I watched the gala video Preston posted on his social media. He and Victoria were standing side by side. Victoria's smile was gentle. In my heart, Preston Shaw has always been a genius in the world of jewelry design. That has never changed. "Then what are your thoughts on your husband, Austin Foster, winning first place in last year's jewelry design competition?" a reporter asked. Victoria paused, then looked tenderly at Preston. Austin and Preston were college classmates. Preston has given him a lot of guidance privately. As his wife, I'm very grateful to Preston. A corner of my mouth twitched. I dialed my lawyer's number. 2 weeks from now, have the identity of Austin Foster legally nullified. I walked into a hospital. This surgically applied scar on my face, when can it be removed? "I can book you for surgery a week from now," the doctor said. I nodded and left the hospital. Aaron Foster had a glaring scar on his face. To make my impersonation convincing, I had a fake one created. I had thought Victoria never cared about it, so I gave her my whole heart. But that too was just part of her act. I waited until after midnight for Victoria to come home. She was surprised to see me. "Shouldn't you have gone back to your hometown already?" She was wearing a perfume I didn't recognize, and the marks of passion were still visible on her neck. "I came back to get some design sketches."
"You designed something new? Let me see."
She rushed toward me, her eyes gleaming with an excitement she couldn't hide. "It's beautiful. Can you not publish this one? I want to keep your design sketch." Looking at her fake sweet smile, I felt a wave of irony. She had used the same excuse back in our freshman year of college to give my design to Preston, allowing him to win the award that should have been mine. I tossed the sketch aside and walked into the bedroom. She suddenly called out to me. "Austin, Preston's company, Luna Adore Designs, has just launched. We're old classmates. You should go work for him as a designer." My heart sank to the floor. She had forgotten our original dream to open our own company. I was thinking of opening my own studio. Her face clouded over with displeasure. "Preston helped us out a lot in the past. He's at a critical stage right now, and you're only thinking about yourself? It's settled. Preston invited me to dinner tomorrow. You can come with me." The next day, Preston clearly wasn't expecting me. He frantically tried to hide a lace bra from the sofa. It was obviously Victoria's. Victoria's expression shifted. She shot me a glance. "Well, we're all adults here. Didn't expect you two to show up so suddenly." I used the excuse of going to buy drinks. Halfway there, I realized I'd left my keys with Victoria. As I returned to the door, I heard Victoria's ragged breaths. Preston's hand was exploring under her skirt, her face flushed with passion. Be gentle. I'm only a few months pregnant, it's not stable yet. And you're so sure the baby is mine? Victoria's voice dripped with disgust. Of course. That disgusting face of his makes me want to puke whenever we do it. Just be careful. Don't let my husband find out. I couldn't listen anymore. A wave of nausea churned in my stomach. When I returned with the drinks, the two of them were perfectly composed as if nothing had happened. Victoria linked her arm with mine. Austin came today because he wants to do you a favor. I pushed her away and took out the design sketch I had prepared. Preston was surprised. It was a design I had created for Victoria in college. I had poured my heart into it and could never bring myself to sell it. Its value was self-evident. I put down the sketch. As soon as I got in the car, the door was yanked open. Victoria was seething. Didn't you say this design was for my competition next month? This is about whether I can become a senior designer. My voice was cold. Preston helped us out a lot in the past. He's at a critical stage right now. How can you only think about yourself? Victoria was speechless, but you didn't have to give him this design. You know how important this one is to me. I replied nonchalantly. It's just a piece of paper. Can't you get your design genius to draw you a new one? Victoria froze. Austin, what's gotten into you? Is this all because I didn't go back to your hometown with you? That place is small and run down, and your mother has been dead for years. What's the point of going back to get out? I cut her off. The moment she was out, I sped away. Her voice faded behind me. Austin Foster, don't you forget, everything you have is because of me. Without my connections. How much do you think your pathetic sketches would sell for? A smile touched my lips. We'll just have to wait and see. In the following days, I didn't see Victoria again. I destroyed every trace of Austin Foster's existence, not leaving behind so much as a single piece of paper. 5 days before I was set to leave, on New Year's Eve, I called Victoria and booked a table at a restaurant. I waited until all the other guests had left, and finally, a message from Victoria arrived. I'm busy with the design competition, so I'm staying at the office. Happy New Year. If I hadn't seen the plane tickets for 2 that Preston had posted on TikTok, I might have actually believed her. TikTok kept pushing their travel vlogs to my feed, kissing under a sky full of stars, running through open fields. All the places she had once promised we would visit now featured another man. On the final day, I woke up on an operating table in the hospital, the scar on my face completely gone. Preston's TikTok updated with an ultrasound scan captioned, "The greatest gift from heaven." Before I could finish looking, I got a call from Victoria. "Husband, I have great news. I'm pregnant. Isn't it a wonderful surprise? This is the best New Year's gift I could give you." She then sent me an ultrasound picture, identical to the one I had just seen. I looked at the sweet couple standing by the OB/GYN clinic entrance, a dull ache spreading through my chest. This truly was the best gift I had received in years. My voice was icy. "Is that so? Then I'll come to your office now and take you to the hospital for a checkup." Victoria was stunned for a moment. No need, I'm on a business trip. I'll be back next week. I'm sorry, husband. I'll make it up to you when I get back. I forced a smile and turned off my phone. I walked out of the hospital and into the Maybach parked at the curb. "Mr. Summers, the identity of Austin Foster has been officially nullified," my assistant said. I nodded. I had once loved her with a burning passion. The first time I met her, Preston had just abandoned her to go abroad, and she was crying her heart out. Back then, she was the only one who didn't mind my face. Instead, she showered me with care. We promised to get married after graduation and start a company that belonged to us. Once everything was on track, we would have a beautiful child. But now, the company wasn't mine. The child wasn't mine either. She, who hated betrayal more than anything, had run straight back into Preston's arms. She had done the exact same thing he did. For Victoria's sake, I had hidden my identity all these years. Every time I invited her to my family home, it was with the intention of telling her the truth. But she refused me, again and again, giving up on me, again and again. Since I couldn't have a New Year's reunion with Victoria, I would have one with my family. As the car drove on, the past vanished along with Austin Foster. The one who survived was Sincere Summers, at the Summers family villa in Linwood. The moment I stepped through the door, my mother rushed out and threw her arms around me. "Sincere, my dear, you've suffered so much all these years." A girl of about 18 followed her out. It was my younger sister, Julia. Her eyes were red as she came up and tugged on my sleeve. "Brother, you're finally back." I patted her head. "Brother isn't going anywhere ever again." After my parents composed themselves, they began to brief me on the business I needed to take over. For years, I had won numerous awards under the name Sincere Summers, but had never shown my face. The Summers family was the leading jewelry enterprise in Linwood, and there was much for me to learn. My mother asked me to present the award at the jewelry design competition next month. I hesitated. I didn't want to see Victoria. I explained the situation to my family, which sent Julia into a rage. "That bitch, my brother, is talented and handsome. What right does she have to criticize him, brother? You just watch. At next month's design competition, she definitely won't be getting first place." I had almost forgotten. Julia was also a rare design genius. She had just spent most of her time abroad and rarely participated in domestic competitions. Seeing her so eager to get justice for me warmed my heart. At least there was still someone on my side. While I was enjoying a reunion dinner with my family, Victoria returned home from her vacation. To make it up to me, she had specially ordered takeout from my favorite hotel restaurant. "Husband, I'm home," no one answered. She called my phone and panicked when no one picked up. She went into the bedroom and found all my clothes still there. My phone was placed in the most conspicuous spot. So was the pen she had given me in college. I had once told her it was my most precious gift, and I always carried it with me. Unease and fear crept into her heart. Victoria unlocked my phone. The screen was on TikTok. It was Preston's post with the ultrasound scan, and all the videos of the two of them that I had liked. Victoria's heart sank to the bottom of the abyss. She could barely stand. This can't be happening. How did he find out? I can explain, Austin, thinking back, that last phone call on New Year's Eve. It had been a farewell. Suddenly, as if remembering something, Victoria frantically made a call. "I need you to check Austin Foster's recent transaction records." All of them, the result was nothing. It was as if, after New Year's Eve, Austin Foster had simply ceased to exist. After 24 hours passed, she immediately reported me missing to the police. When she arrived at the station, the police told her, "The Austin Foster you're looking for has been dead for 10 years. Unwilling to accept it, Victoria dug up everything she could find related to Austin Foster. But every time she got the same answer. Her legs gave out and she collapsed to the floor, her eyes vacant. Impossible. "I just saw him last week. How could he be dead?" Victoria went to my old hometown, trying to find proof. But she found the house had long been dilapidated, as if no one had lived there for a very long time. Everyone told Victoria that Austin Foster died 10 years ago. He died in that mudslide. Victoria asked people in our circle to look for him. Everyone thought she had gone mad. She searched for half a month before collapsing at home. When she woke up, Preston was there, his face full of concern. "Honey, you're pregnant. Don't overwork yourself." "So what if Austin's dead? It just works out perfectly for us." Victoria shoved him away like a madwoman and grabbed his phone. She found that Preston's TikTok posts were set to be visible only to me. "What is the meaning of this? Didn't I warn you not to let him find out?" Preston held her hand. "He's dead. Doesn't that mean all his designs are ours now? He's so ugly. What are you afraid of?" Victoria's face instantly turned grim. She was well aware of how she had used me. She started to tremble, tears welling up in her eyes. I was the only one in the world who saw his talent, the only one who didn't mind his looks. He loved me so much. How could he leave me? Impossible. Meanwhile, I was planning for the design competition in half a month. Julia tossed a missing person flyer onto the table, annoyed. This person is posting these flyers all over the city. It's so irritating. I glanced at the unfamiliar face on the flyer and replied, "That's Austin Foster's face. But Austin Foster has been dead for a long time." Victoria searched for me for a month, but to no avail. Preston kept pestering her for my design sketches, and she was at her wit's end. In a daze, she fell down the stairs. Her pregnancy was already unstable. She lost the baby and scarred her face. While she was hospitalized in the plastic surgery department, she overheard the nurses talking. That handsome guy who came in last month also had a scar on his face. Yes, he had a mole on his neck, too. I can't believe how handsome he is after the scar removal. Victoria couldn't stay calm any longer. She rushed over to them. "The man you're talking about, what's his name, ma'am? We can't disclose patient privacy," nurse said. All the strength drained out of Victoria, and for a moment she forgot the pain in her own body. "It doesn't matter if you're Austin Foster or someone else. You belong to me." Victoria used all her connections, desperately searching for the man who had visited the plastic surgery department that day. The next time I saw her was at the Linwood Design Competition. Let us welcome the heir to Summers Jewelry and winner of multiple international and domestic gold design awards, Sincere Summers, to present the award to our contestant. I walked slowly onto the stage to present the trophy to Julia. From the audience, Preston scoffed. "So this is the heir Summers Jewelry has been hiding all these years? He's nothing special. If I had that kind of family, I'd be way better than him." Beside him, Victoria stared at me, her gaze so intense it felt like she was trying to see right through me. After the award ceremony, I ran into Victoria backstage. Tears streamed down her face as she screamed at me. "Austin Foster, how could you be so cruel? Why didn't you tell me who you were? What terrible crime did I commit for you to treat me like this? Look at my face. This is my punishment. Are you satisfied now? Can you come back to me?" I looked at her calmly, my voice cold. "Madam, you have the wrong person." She desperately tried to grab my clothes, but the bodyguards at my side pulled her away. "Plenty of people try to latch on to Mr. Summers. You could at least get his name right, not wanting to get entangled." I turned to leave. I hadn't gone far when I received a call from Preston. "Sincere Summers, you really know how to hide your cards. You think you can have Vicky now that you're rich, powerful, and good-looking? She still loved me even after I abandoned her." "You were just a tool she used to make me jealous," I replied coolly. "Just because Austin Foster never published certain designs doesn't mean Sincere Summers hasn't. You should worry about yourself first." With that, I hung up. The very thought of his company being named Luna Adore was an eyesore to me. A tool, a fake romance, whatever. None of it mattered to me now. It was time for them to return what they had taken from me. After the design competition, I officially joined Summers Corporation. Though I had lived as Austin Foster, I had always kept an eye on the family business. Now I had all the time in the world to hone my designs. I had a larger platform for promotion, a broader scope for my creative vision, and it was no longer just about pleasing Victoria. In just 6 months, I had firmly established my position at Summers. Every jewelry line I launched sold out completely, and no one dared to give me any trouble. The 7 years I spent with Victoria faded away in those 6 months. Freed from the shackles of gratitude and love, I was more myself, more Sincere Summers. Preston was investigated for plagiarizing designs, and his company went bankrupt. All the sketches they had stolen now bore new names. Life was peaceful and calm. It was a beautiful spring. But I never expected Victoria to show up at my door. As I walked into the house, I heard Victoria's sobbing. "Mom, I truly know I was wrong. Preston and I were really just friends. Austin was just angry for a moment. Austin loves me so much, he wouldn't bear to leave me. Could you please help me talk to him?" My mother was so angry she almost lost her high society composure. "Who are you calling Mom? My son, Sincere Summers, doesn't have a wife like you." Julia, standing nearby, chimed in sarcastically. "Ma'am, you're Austin Foster's wife. What does that have to do with my brother? You can eat whatever you want, but you can't just say whatever you want. Victoria looked displeased but softened her tone. Sister, I know it was my fault. If you know, then get out, I said, walking into the living room and cutting her off. Security, please escort Miss Lynn out, and don't let her in again. Victoria's voice cracked with tears as she clutched the corner of my jacket. I yanked it away, my face expressionless. After Victoria left, Julia's eyes were a little red. Brother, how did you get through all those years? I patted her shoulder. Everyone makes mistakes in judgment. I'm fine now, don't worry. After reassuring my parents, I got a call from my assistant. Mr. Summers, Preston Shaw is causing a scene at the company. When I arrived, Preston was blocking the main entrance, holding a sign. Sincere Summers, heir to Summers Corp., a homewrecker who uses his power to take revenge and ruin people's lives. I felt a headache coming on. Just as I was about to have security drag him away,
Victoria rushed out from behind him.
Slap. The force of her slap sent Preston stumbling. Preston, are you insane? Victoria looked at me anxiously, apologizing profusely.
I'm so sorry, husband. I didn't know he was slandering you like this. I didn't answer her.
She grabbed Preston, dragged him in front of me, and said coldly, apologize to us, to Mr. Summers. Preston froze for a second, then his anger flared. Victoria, are you crazy? If he hadn't abandoned you, would we be in this mess? Our company is bankrupt. All my designs are gone. I'm trying to get justice for us. Victoria's expression was about to crack. Preston, ask yourself, which one of those designs did you actually draw yourself? If you don't apologize now, even I can't protect you. I found it amusing and started to applaud. What a grand performance of deep affection. Miss Lynn, Preston is just looking out for you. Be careful you don't upset the baby. The moment I said that, Preston eagerly leaned in. Yes, darling, your health is the most important thing. Victoria's face turned pale. The baby is gone. Sincere, the child I had with him is gone. There's nothing standing between us anymore. I truly know I was wrong. Please forgive me, won't you? I spoke calmly. Then today, tell everyone that all your awards were won using my designs. Tell everyone about your sordid affair with Preston, about your filthy deals. Victoria's head shot up, her eyes grave. I took a step back. You can't do it? She grabbed my hand, shaking her head frantically. You're the heir to the Summers Corporation. As your wife, how can I have any scandals? And how would Preston and I survive in the jewelry industry after that? My heart grew colder. Even now she was only thinking about their future. I had long understood that in her heart, my utility always outweighed her love. She couldn't bear to lose my love for her, yet she couldn't let go of her feelings for Preston. She just couldn't bear to lose me. But now my heart was a placid lake. Without giving her another glance, I turned and walked into the company building. 7 days later, at a designer selection meeting, I saw Victoria again. Her piece was called Moonlit Starfall, set with 99 brilliant diamonds. I had almost forgotten that today was our 3rd wedding anniversary. She saw me and smiled sweetly. Husband, this is your 3rd anniversary gift. Do you like it? The Austin of the past would have loved it. But the man standing here was sincere. I avoided her, my face a mask of indifference, but she grabbed my arm. Husband, I really know I was wrong. I've always loved you. I was just toying with Preston. He abandoned me so cruelly, I just wanted to get back at him. I was always planning to give you his company. I just wanted him to feel what it's like to have nothing. I sneered. And your child? Was that part of your revenge too? Victoria's face went white, her lips trembling. It wasn't Preston's child, it was our child. My pupils contracted. I turned to face her. Her eyes overflowed with tears. How could I ever have a child with him? He's the person I hate most in the world. Look, this moonlit starfall. Don't you love children? Can we name our child Star? Please. She looked at me full of hope, her makeup smeared by her tears. I shook off her hand. Victoria, you are still so selfish. To get revenge for Preston's betrayal, you used the exact same tactics on Austin. Can you honestly say you weren't happy during all those days you spent with Preston? Victoria stood frozen, stammering. Austin, you really don't love me anymore. I turned and walked away, leaving her with one last sentence. The one who loved you was Austin Foster, not Sincere Summers. To avoid ever seeing Victoria again, I blocked all her contact information. I ordered that she was never to be allowed into any Summers property again. She seemed to go a little mad, spreading scandalous rumors about me on social media, claiming I had abandoned my wife and child. She used what was left of her money after paying compensation fees to hire an online mob, and for a time gossip about me was everywhere. She was just trying to force me to come back to her. But did she really think such petty tricks could affect me? Did she think Summers Corporation was a pushover? If I had any shred of pity for her before, now it was replaced by a deep-seated hatred. I released the records of her affair with Preston to the public, along with the original sketches for all her award-winning designs. In the past, no one would have believed I drew them. But now, I was Sincere Summers. Victoria thought everything I had was a gift from her, something she could trample on at will. Now, it was her turn to feel the sting of betrayal. The next time I saw her was when the police asked me to come to the station to give a statement. She was disheveled, her eyes completely lifeless. When she saw me, she rushed forward. Husband, I gave the police all the evidence of Preston's financial crimes. I got revenge for you. His future is ruined, and now I have nothing left either. Are you satisfied now? That was her way, always sacrificing the people who loved her for her own benefit. When you were useful, you were a treasure. When you weren't, you were cast aside like a worn-out shoe. I almost felt a flicker of pity for Preston. I pried her hands off me, not wanting to engage. As I left, she screamed after me, "Austin Foster, you'll never get rid of me in this lifetime." She was a woman of her word. For the next few days, she followed me everywhere. My bodyguards kept her several meters away, but she was relentless. She even went to my father, pestering him so much that he had a heart attack and was hospitalized. When I arrived at the hospital, she greeted me with teary eyes. "Husband, I just wanted Dad to talk to you. I didn't think this would happen." Julia rushed up from behind me and slapped her across the face, sending her reeling into the wall. "Victoria, my brother has rejected you so completely. How can you still be so pathetic? Who do you think you are? Trying to guilt-trip him. If anything happens to my dad, my brother might be soft-hearted, but I'm not someone you want to mess with." With that, Julia went into the hospital room. Victoria clutched her face in disbelief. I stared at her coldly. "Victoria, that's enough," she stammered. "Austin, have you forgotten all the good times we had? You met me when I was heartbroken. You drew designs for me. You picked me up in the rain. You cooked for me." I laughed coldly. "Those are your good memories. What about mine? I was used as your tool to get back at Preston, had my designs stolen by you, stood in the pouring rain waiting to pick you up and cooked a feast only to have you never come home." She took out the pen she had given me. "What about this? You said you would treasure it forever. Have you forgotten? I was wrong before. I'll change." She was still trying to use our past to hold me captive, but I had no patience left. Everything that was a beautiful memory for her was a sharp blade to me. Even that pen was only a gift despite Preston. And yet I had treasured it. "Is that so?" I took the pen from her and snapped it in two. No, she dove for the pieces like a madwoman, the sharp fragments cutting her hands, drawing blood. Victoria stared at me in shock, then took a deep breath. "What about our child? Our child is gone because you left. Aren't you going to compensate me?" My patience had reached its limit. Her audacity was truly unmatched. "Proof?" I said it lightly. "Didn't you find me disgusting? How could it have been my child?" Victoria stood frozen, unable to make a sound. She never imagined that I had already seen through her final bargaining chip. I had security escort her out. She clutched the broken pen, blood dripping onto the floor. Later, she tried every way she could to prove her love for me, to prove the child was mine. but she found no trace of any love for me. She had never cooked a meal for me, never bought me a winter coat. She found me ugly. There wasn't a single photo of me in her phone's gallery. Her love was all talk, never in her heart. She still considered herself my wife and relentlessly harassed the people around me. She tried to squeeze into my social circles to get close to me. She believed that as long as I remained unmarried, she still had a chance. But I was just so tired. I started attending galas I used to hate, meeting many like-minded friends. I even started getting to know the women my parents introduced me to. She became a joke, always orbiting my life. Another New Year's came around. This time I was finally home for the holiday. The snow was falling heavily. I saw Victoria at the gate. She was covered in snow, shivering from the cold. Austin, can I come home with you for New Year's this year? But I didn't need her anymore. Her voice trembled. Austin, I'm so cold. Can you just let me in to sit for a while? My face was impassive as I spoke. If you come in, wouldn't that make Miss Lambert feel awkward? Victoria's expression changed. Austin, how could you do this? You can't be with someone else just to spite me. How does that make you any different from me? I replied indifferently, so you do know what you've done. Miss Lambert is intelligent and kind, a childhood friend, and a top talent in the design world. In what way is she not better than you? I ignored her and drove away. There was no Miss Lambert. It was just an excuse. I hadn't become a better version of myself yet. How could I drag someone else down? When I got home, the last dish was just being brought to the table. Sincere, the last dish is your favorite, lobster thermidor, the housekeeper said. My eyes instantly welled up. I was touched. Victoria never liked seafood, so I had never once ordered this dish. I was always accommodating her, but I had forgotten about myself. The house was decorated with paper cuttings on the windows and lanterns hanging everywhere. A huge table of steaming hot food made my eyes sting. Julia clapped me on the shoulder. What are you standing there for, brother? It's New Year's Eve. You owe me gift money. Dad tapped Julia on the head. Show some respect. You're both the kids here, so of course I'm the one giving out gift money. He turned to me. You're setting off fireworks with me later. It's our first New Year's together in so long. I nodded, blinking back tears. Dinner's ready. What are you all standing around for? My mom called out. Coming. I don't know how Victoria got home. By midnight, she was gone. Later, I heard that Victoria's parents had returned from abroad. By then, her reputation was in ruins. To avoid offending the Somers family, they married her off to a real estate mogul in the next city. All traces of her vanished from Linwood, which suited me just fine. She was no longer my concern, and I no longer cared. I collected my works and held a design exhibition that caused a sensation in Linwood. The Somers Corporation thrived, and my family was healthy. Another New Year passed, and from now on, I would have many more wonderful New Years, just like this one. The end.